Hello again, everyone. It's game ball time once again, but how about some headlines from week 3? Horace picks up win number 1 as a program. Congrats to Harvey McMahon and his program. Red River continues to be the cardiac kids. Can anyone score on Minot's defense? And can anyone stop Shanley's offense? How about Langdon proving itself with a top 5 win over Bottineau? And then in 9-man, South Border and Linton HMB picked up big wins. And don't look now, but we get 3-0 North Prairie hosting 3-0 New Rockford Cheyenne Maddock this Friday. We're starting to see the contenders separate themselves. But you are watching for the game ball. In this week's margin between the game ball winner and some other contenders was pretty much razor thin. West Hope, Newburgh, Glen Burns, Walker, Broughton put up an insane stat line in his bid for a second career game ball. And then Shanley's high-powered offense, led by QB Landon Meyer, put up 50 points by halftime against West Fargo. Carter Stiefert shined for Shiloh Christian. But this week's ball is heading to the Kindred Vikings for quarterback and linebacker Jake Starcevic. For me, it came down to a film breakdown of these top guys, and when you see the plays that Starcevic made this week, you'll see why. More on that in a bit. Let's get to our top performers. I just mentioned him. Walker Broughton has been playing out of his mind to start the season and has West Hope, Newburgh, Glen Burns sitting at 3-0 and averaging over 58 points per game. The junior quarterback and safety scored in every way imaginable in Friday's win over Divide County. He rushed for 190 yards and 4 touchdowns on just 8 carries. He threw a pair of touchdown passes. He also caught a pass from the opposing team's quarterback and took it back 89 yards for a pick 6. Oh, and then he returned a punt for a score too. A ho-hum 8-touchdown game for Broughton, a former game ball winner who has the Sioux dreaming big this season. Big test for them this week against undefeated Surrey. Wyndmere Lidgerwood was tested this week against a good Maple River squad, and Tyler Brandt helped them stay undefeated. The senior QB passed for over 100 yards and a couple of scores, but was more effective on the ground, where he rushed for 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. Special shout out to the group up front led by junior Chase Cooper, who had a school record 14 pancake blocks. Shanley has a couple of guys on this list. Let's start with Jordan Leininger, who flipped Friday's game on its head early when he intercepted West Fargo's Brady Medina and took it back for a touchdown. It was the start to a big night for Leininger, who also added 12 catches for 131 yards and a pair of touchdowns. The guy throwing him the ball was pretty darn good too. I talked about him being one of the top contenders. Look at the stats for Landon Meyer. In just his second start as a varsity quarterback, he completed 27 of 32 passes for nearly 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. He added a rushing score as well, all in the first half in the 57-14 blowout win over the Packers. In an offense that operates faster than a toddler chasing candy at a parade, Meyer was a cool customer, throwing touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Boy, the Deacons are dangerous. Mayport CG junior Cutler Peterson was tough to bring down on Friday night. Maybe it's his old school look with the neck roll that adds 15 pounds of brute force. Peterson found the end zone 4 times on the ground in the Patriots' win over Rugby. Boy, the Sargent County defense channeled their inner '85 Chicago Bears on Friday. Kids, look it up. The Bulldogs had not 1, not 2, but 3 pick sixes in the win over Griggs Midco. Wyatt Degenstein, Nick Hansen, and Luke Martinson each took one back in the win. Martinson and Josh Wittich also combined for 7.5 of the team's 9 sacks in the game. Sargent County continues to dominate this season. Fargo South's Demarion Semenko got his work done before most other teams kicked off on Friday. In the 4 p.m. matchup with Central, the Bruins running back rushed for 100 yards and 4 touchdowns, 3 of those coming in the second half. He also added a couple of tackles and pass breakups on defense to help the Bruins improve to 2-0. I don't know if you can really give Lemoore Litchfield Marion's Gunnar Thielges a position. Just call him an athlete. He was 3 of 6 passing for 60 yards and a touchdown. He rushed the ball 12 times for a whopping 250 and 4 touchdowns, and also hauled in a 10-yard touchdown reception. The Swiss Army knife helped cut up Hatton Northwood in a 58-12 win. Shiloh Christian quarterback Carter Seifert had a big day in the win over Killdeer Halliday. Seifert passed for 340 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also hurt the Cowboys on the ground with 80 yards and 2 more scores. Region 4 has some huge matchups at the end of the month, with Shiloh, Trinity, and Bowman County all playing one another. That's where a region champion gets decided. Speaking of which, there's only one undefeated team left in Region 2, and That's these birds. Langdon Edmore Munich after the Cardinals beat up on 5th-ranked Bottineau 34-6 behind senior quarterback Race Worley's impressive performance. Worley completed 17 of 21 passes for 309 yards and 4 touchdowns. Again, another player more than worthy of winning the hardware. The decisions are difficult every week, but we must make them. And this week, our Midco Sports Game Ball, sponsored by Farmers Union Insurance, is heading to a young man that has probably been on the top performers list more than any other player in the state, and he's been on it for 2 different teams. I'm talking about Jake Starcevic, the junior QB and linebacker for Kindred. He was outstanding in Friday's 44-13 win over Hillsboro-Central Valley. Starcevic completed 12 of his 16 passes for 5 touchdowns and rushed for 60 more yards in a score in just 3 quarters of play. As you'll see in these highlights, the plays he made were spectacular, scrambling around, buying time with his legs, and making some incredible throws, a handful of them for 4th down conversions. He also had a beautiful touchdown pass in the final seconds of the first half. His defensive play can sometimes get overlooked. He finished with 3 tackles, including a big TFL against the Burros. And you can't spell Starcevic without star. And this young man has been just that throughout his high school career, already with 2 All-State selections to his credit and just in the early stages of his junior year. He might be asked to do even more going forward after standout junior running back and safety Kylan Swenson suffered a severe ankle injury on Friday. Kylan, we wish you the best in your recovery. So this game ball heading to Kindred, home of the 2nd-ranked Vikings, who are off this week. Would be nice to add a Vikings helmet to the studio here, just saying. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll be televising the Legacy at West Fargo game this Friday at 7, and then hang around for Varsity Sports Live at 10:30 on Midco Sports and streaming on Midco Sports Plus. Thanks for watching, everyone.